Okay, today we are beginning Torah Yudalid in Likutey Moharan, and this Torah is called LeHamshich Shalom, to draw peace. To draw peace, and that's what the intention. That's what the title is, and that's what intention. Rabbi Nachman is going to teach us how to draw peace into the world. Okay, says Rabbi Nachman. So he starts off with a pasuk, and this is a pasuk that a couple of Torahs in the Likutei Moharan are based on. Okay, Tik'u b'chodesh shofar b'keseh liyom chagenu. Blow a shofar at the new moon, at the appointed time for the day of our chag, of our festival. Tik'u b'chodesh shofar. B'chodesh means the new moon, and on the new moon you should blow the shofar. B'keseh liyom chagenu, at the appointed time for the day of our chag. LeHamshich Shalom ba'olam, says Rabbi Nachman. In order to draw peace into this world, tzarich le'alot kevod HaKadosh Baruch Hu leshorsho, haynu la'yir'ah, kemo shekatuv le'yir'ah et Hashem hanichbad. In order to draw peace into the world, what we must accomplish first is to elevate and return Hashem's glory, Hashem's honor to its source. So the honor of Hashem, the glory of Hashem has fallen, has been disconnected from Hashem, and we must return it back to its source. Okay, the honor and the glory of Hashem, and the source is the midah of yira, the midah of awe. It's not just fear, it's not a lowly fear, it's not a fear of something, consequences, it's an awe. And so when glory of Hashem, when that midah of glory, of honor is returned to the awe of Hashem, so then that is returning the kavod of Hashem to its source, and that's the prerequisite for drawing peace into the world. And he brings a pasuk, Li'yir'ah Hashem hanichbad. So this pasuk is expressing kavod of Hashem in its rightful place, in its source. What does the pasuk say? In order to fear the glorious name of Hashem, Li'yir'ah Hashem hanichbad, in order to fear Hashem's name, which is glorified, which is glorious. Okay, so that means that the glory of Hashem is being returned to awe of Hashem. That's what it means to fear, or to be in awe of Hashem's glorious name. It means the glorious name is now connected to the experience of awe. And so that's the glory of Hashem return to its source. Second part 2 in the Torah, Ot Bet. It's impossible, now that we have established that the prerequisites for drawing peace is to return the kavod, the honor of Hashem, to its source, to Ah. You must know that you cannot return the glory of Hashem to its source, to Ah, unless or without the Torah of loving kindness of Hashem. So loving kindness, a Torah of kindness and a Torah of love is the prerequisite for returning the glory of Hashem to its source, to Ah, which is a prerequisite for drawing the peace into the world. Okay, so we have 3 stages now. How does this work, this loving kindness, this Torah of love and kindness? Says Rabbi Nachman, he explains, what is the definition of a Torah of kindness, a Torah of love? A Torah of love is when you learn Torah with the intention of giving it over, not for your own sake, not so that you're some rabbi, that people are coming to hear your shiurim, or not because now that you gave over to your friend or your chavruta a piece of Torah, you're more glorified in his eyes, but for the sake of Hashem. That your intention when you're learning Torah is in order that now that I will learn this Torah, I will be able to spread the glory of Hashem in even greater ways, right? Because beforehand I had one less Torah of Hashem that I was able to spread and give over. But now I have one more aspect of Hashem's glory that I can increase. Okay? And he brings the gemara. The gemara in Masechet Sukkah says, B'Torat Chesed, Torah of kindness, That's Torah that you learn with the intention of teaching it. Because the main honor of Hashem, says Rabbi Nachman, the main glory of Hashem is spreading Hashem's light to the farthest realms of the universe, to the farthest extremities of civilization, to even the lowliest souls or the disconnected souls. That's the greatest honor of Hashem. And that's experience. You can know that from yourself. You know that if your wife gives you a compliment, it's one thing, and it's sweet, and it's wonderful. But if someone that is from the other end of the world gives you a compliment, and genuine compliment, they really appreciate something that you've done or something about yourself, and that person has no reason in the world, and they don't have any personal connection to you, but still from that far place in the other end of the world, they recognize your greatness to such a point that they are complimenting you and they're appreciating you. Now that's glory. That is amazing that your name has spread to the other end of the world, to such a far place and to such a far person, a person that would never in a million years, but such a person still has recognized your significance, your importance, and they have honored you. That is true glory. That's true awesomeness. That's true power, right? It's just like a king. If a king has a kingdom in this tiny and small place and he has no influence anywhere else, that's one thing. But if you have a king that's his influence and his name and his power spreads throughout the whole world, now that's true glory. And so in the same way, the greatest glory of Hashem, the greatest kavod of Hashem, is that his Torah is spread out to the farthest extremities. And we see this in the Zohar, says Rabbi Nachman. This is expressed in the Zohar that we're going to read now. The Zohar, right at the beginning in Parshat Yitro, it speaks about the great honor that came to Hashem when Yitro returned, when he converted, right? Because Yitro was the farthest person from Yiddishkeit in the world. Yitro was the farthest person from the Torah in the world, right? The Gemara tells us that Yitro was the greatest komer. He was the greatest. He was the priest of all of the idol worships. He was an expert idol worshiper. He knew all of the possible ways, all of the possible religions, and all of the traditions, and all of the idols, and all of the forces, and all of the energies, and all of the things that people have worshipped in the past and what people worshipped at that time. He knew all of it. And he was an expert knowing exactly how to worship each and all of these deities, each and all of these idols, right? He knew exactly how and what. And for him to return to Hashem, that's the farthest person coming and returning to Hashem and recognizing, acknowledging that Hashem is the one. There's no greater honor, no respect and glory than that. It says the Holy Zohar, B'sha'ata deshar akum, atayin ve'odan Likutei Moharan keden istalak v'tyaker shman Likutei Moharan ela v'tata. Right? When other idol worshippers, when they come, other nations, idol worshippers, they come and they recognize the Ribono Shalom, the Holy One, then Hashem's name ascends and is glorified above and below. So that means that the glory of Hashem spreads in the highest of the highest realms, all the way to the lowest and the lowest places. So that's a tremendous maila, a tremendous elevation to the honor and the glory of the Ribono Shalom. And he says, Kimo gabi Yitro, just like what happened by Yitro. B'shata de Amar Yitro, says the Zohar, that when Yitro came and he said, Ata yadati ki gadol ha'avaya mikol ha'elokim. Now I know that Hashem is greater than all gods. Keden istalak v'tyakar shema dekutcha brichu. It was with this that Hashem's name ascended and was glorified. Okay, and there was a tremendous glorifying of Hashem's name that came about specifically when Yitro, the farthest of the far, came and recognized and acknowledged the oneness of the Ribono Shalom. Nimtza zeu kevodo, כשבני אדם שהם מחוץ לקדושה מקרבים את עצמם לפנים מהקדושה. We learn from here that this is the ultimate glory of Hashem, that when those that are outside of the boundaries of holiness, they come and they convert and they bring themselves closer, they draw closer to become within, to come within and to enter within the boundaries of holiness. Whether it be an actual convert from a different religion, right? Or hen bali teshuvah, even when people just become a Baal Tshuva, just return to Hashem. People that are born Jewish, but even when people that are born Jewish, when they return to Hashem, that's also considered that they are bringing themselves closer to Hashem, and through that, they are increasing the kavod of Hashem. And also yourself, when you return to Hashem, that's also an aspect of glorifying Hashem's name. And every day you're glorifying Hashem's name, every level and every increment, every further increment that you have become closer to the Rebbe Shalom, you're increasing Hashem's glory that much more. And so when you learn Torah in order to help others, to spread the Torah of Hashem, the light of Hashem, so that others will convert, and so that others will become Bali Teshuvah, do Teshuvah, and so that you yourself will convert and do Teshuvah, right, on a personal level, then that is called Torah of loving kindness. When we draw them closer and we bring them inside the boundaries of holiness, that's the honor of Hashem. Okay, and we'll continue with Hashem this Torah in tomorrow's shir.